Mending Wall by Robert Frost. Robert Frost is one of the most famous American poets. He was especially famous as the poet laureate of America. He was like the official poet of America, one of the early ones. And he's got quite a number of poems noted with him. You'll probably be familiar with one of the ones that we look at today, Two Paths, or The Road Less Traveled By, The Road Not Taken, is a very famous one, although shouldn't be, and well, it should be, but it's not, shouldn't be famous in the way it's famous. We'll talk about that. But he's really famous for this very sort of view of Americana, and most of his poems have to do with the wilderness of Maine, Massachusetts, New England, where he grew up, and so they're very sort of farmsy, homespun type wisdom, and they're also just something very warm and wholesome about them. But that is what he is. So we have here Mending Wall, something there is that doesn't love a wall, that sends the frozen groundswell under it and spills the upper boulders in the sun and makes gaps even two can pass abreast. This is a very classic Robert Frost, and as you read through this, you see it's a very sort of down-home tale, a very wholesome tale just about like life on a farm and interacting with the neighbor. Different details, like that they're trying to balance stones on a wall. If you guys ever see like mounds of stone, if you ever tried to balance round stones on top of each other, it's very difficult. And this is what their whole fence is made out of, is just piled stones. And so like they're going along, he and his partner, he and his neighbor, I should say, and they're trying to keep it erect. And they says, we have to use a spell to make them balance. Stay where you are until our backs are turned. It's just very classic. It's just so wonderfully human, this idea of these two stressing out and the rocks keep falling over and they keep saying, just stay there, stay there. And there's a wonderful classic thing. And even if you haven't, say, been in Massachusetts, even if you haven't been in Maine, even if you've never seen this situation, there's something wonderfully human about it. And again, this is this wonderful, very unique perspective, this unique song, you could say, of Robert Frost that connects with people just from its sheer uniqueness. But there's more to that here. There's more to that here. The opening line, and again, think of why does the poem start where it does? Why does it end where it does? Opening line, something there is that doesn't love a wall. And this is a question that you're going to have on the assignment. What doesn't love a wall? What doesn't love a wall? Well, it sends the frozen groundswell under it. It spills the boulders in the sun. He says, nature. Nature does not love a wall. He says, I could say elves to him, but it's not elves exactly. Elves are oftentimes in old times, they're seen as sort of like the spirit of the natural world. He's like, but it's not really elves that dislike the wall. It's just the world, nature. Walls are unnatural. Walls aren't meant to be in nature. They're not part of the ground. They're not part of the way the ground moves and swells. They aren't created by nature. They're artificial, man-made. They don't need to be there. And this is, in a way, him commenting also on his neighbor. His neighbor has this very firm idea that you need structures, you need limits in order to have good friendships. You need to have good fences to make good neighbors. You need to have boundaries. And Robert Frost is like, but why? Why do you need boundaries? Why do you need these structures? Why do you need to keep things where they are? Why can't there just be openness? Why can't there just be sort of a natural connection between people? And this is his attitude about quite a number of things. He's very much sort of about the wonder and the beauty of nature, and oftentimes the enjoyment of simple things, simple, natural things.